Hi everyone, welcome to Byte and Beyond with Uday. This is part 3 for our series Spring Boot REST API Development Made Simple. In this part, we will cover controller layer. Once that is done, we will test the APIs which we have developed using the Postman. I will also post this project on the GitHub. The link is available in the description, so please check out. I will explain you in the end of the video how you can clone or download the project from the GitHub, and how you can set up that project in your laptop or in your system. I will show you in the end of the video. And in case you haven't watched the part 2, I recommend please first watch part 2 and then come to this part 3. So for the part 2, you should see the I button somewhere on the screen. Please click on it. You will navigate to the part 2. So let's start. Now, over here, we have already created a controller package. Now, inside this controller package, we will create a employee controller class. So let's create one class, employee controller. Okay, our employee controller is created. Now let's use the race controller annotation. So as I mentioned, if you add this annotation, it, this object will be stored inside the application context. Now what now we need employee service. You can see the controller layer is calling the service layer. So we need to use service layer over here. So we need service layer inside the controller. So let's declare the service over here. So our service is employee service. Whenever you are declaring your field over here, employee employee service, okay. Usually, people use auto wired annotation over here for the dependency injection. So as I mentioned, so whenever you annotate this annotation and REST controller or the at the rate service annotation, Spring Boot will store that object inside the application context. Now, when I say auto wired, so Spring Boot will inject, or Spring Boot will populate this property with that object. So if I am saying over here auto wired, so Spring Boot will get the employee service IMPL object from the application context, and it will set that object to this property. So I can use all the methods of the employee service IMPL, for example, save, update, find by ID, etc. So that's how dependency injection works. Okay. Ideally, the developer or the any student use the at the rate AutoWire annotation, but there are multiple ways to inject the dependency. What I follow is I declare this field as a private final employee service, and instead of service, let's give a meaningful name. This is the employee service, so let's give employee service, and let's create a constructor of employee controller. Okay, inside the constructor, we will declare the interface. We always declare our interface over here and not the actual implementation. So this is the design in Spring Boot. You should always use your employee service, or if you are creating any service, you should always use your interface instead of the actual implementation. Okay, so even though if your interface is implemented by the multiple implementation, you can use the qualifier and you can use the qualifier to inject that particular object. But these are the advanced topic. I will cover those advanced topic in the next video. For the sake of the simplicity, let's stick on the basics or the fundamentals. So fundamentals are essential. Let's declare employee service over here. You can see now the error is gone. Now our actual task is started. Now let's expose the REST APIs. Let's start. So first of all, let's create a prefix for our APIs. One second. So let's choose the request mapping and declare over here your prefix. For example, API V1 means version 1. You can create multiple versions for your APIs. For example, version 1, version 2, etc. So in our case, we have version 1 of our employee API, employees. I have a typo, so this is all employees. Okay. Now let's uh, create methods to manage the employee. So first method is to save the employee. So to save the employee, we should use the post method, post HTTP method. So whenever you are creating new object or new data in your database or in your system, you should use the post mapping or the post HTTP method. Okay. Now this method will return HTTP status only, the created status, and this is save method. Now let me use this request body annotation. So the request body will, deserialize the JSON in this employee object, or it will, whatever JSON you are passing inside your post method, it will be get mapped inside this your employee pojo basically. Okay. So now let me call my employee service over here. Dot save employee and return the response as a created. The object is created. So for that we need response entity. Use the status, and inside the status just type HTTP status and type created. Okay, and use the build. Why it is why it is showing an error? Let's check. Our lang object. Okay, provided lang object require HTTP status. Okay, let me check what is the type of this HTTP status. This is also HTTP status. Then what is wrong? Let's find out. Let's use the IDE. What exactly they are saying? Cast? No, we don't want to cast. Make return Java lang object. Make save return or response entity. Let me do that. Oh, this is not what we want to do. So simply say HTTP status Yeah, now better. We need to use the this HTTP status over here. I mean, the type should be you need this class. I mean this enum HTTP status. This is enum basically. If you go inside this is enum. Okay. Now it is happy. It is not showing any compilation error. So HTTP status and the status is created 201. You can see the status code is 201 and the text is created. So whenever object is successfully created or stored in the database, you can return this status. And this is the response entity which is provided by Spring Boot itself in order to send your response to the client or to the user. So our save method is ready. So if you go inside this same method, it is calling our service method save. Similarly, we will create a put method. Yeah, and one thing for the request body, as I explained, this request body annotation is for the deserialize or to map your JSON object to the employee object. So for example, from your JSON, you are passing ID, first name, last name. That object, all the fields will map to the employee Pojo over here. So similarly, let's quickly create at the rate put mapping method. Okay, response entity, HTTP status, and method name is update. In order to update, you still want to use or need to use this request body annotation to map the JSON to this employee Pojo. Then again, we need our service to update the employee object. Okay, we are updating it. But in this case, we want to return our updated Pojo instead of the HTTP status. So I will declare I'm returning employee. So inside the response entity, I'm mentioning the employee. Response entity is a wrapper for our convenience to return the response to our user or a client. Okay, so let me use let me wrap this response inside the response entity. So response is okay with the body. Okay, so in this case we are simply returning our updated employee. Now quickly create another method which is get employee by ID or find by ID. So at the rate get mapping, and over here I will explain regarding this curly the text which is inside this curly braces. I will explain it. What is it? Let me first of all quickly create this method or this endpoint. So basically we are exposing the endpoints over here. So for find by ID, I will return an employee, and I'm giving this name as find by ID, and I will need only ID over here. Okay. Now inside the response entity, I will say okay. The response should be okay 200. Status should be okay 200. And inside this, I am using employee service, and I am using find by ID method. Okay, and I am passing the ID. And over here, I need to use the other path variable annotation. So now let me explain you what exactly going on in this method. So whenever you declare any you know text inside this curly braces, it means you are passing any argument inside the URL. For example, your URL will be something like this. This is your prefix, so your prefix will be like this. Let me comment out and simply explain to you. Okay, your API will be API v1 employees, and over here you are passing 1, 2, 3, 4. These are the ID, and so your absolute API will be something like this. Let me explain to you quickly. HTTP colon local host colon 8080. Okay, this will be your API. Okay, so now let's move ahead to next API. Before we do that, let's change the theme of this ID. I would like to have a light theme instead of dark. So let me change the theme. Okay, good. Okay, let me remove this then and move ahead to the next API. So our next API is delete by ID, meaning if you want to delete an employee using the ID, employee ID, we need this API. So for example, for that we need delete mapping, and we want to delete the employee by ID. Correct. I forgot the forward slash over here. No worries. Yeah. So similarly, I want to delete an employee by ID. So we need an ID from the user, because user will tell us which employee he or she want to delete. So okay. Uh, Similarly, we will use response entity as our return type, and the actual return type is HTTP status, and the method name should be delete by ID. Okay, and now we will use path variable over here. The reason is we will pass this, ID as a part of URL, as a, you know, as I explained in the find by ID. We will similarly pass the ID over here in the case of delete employee. So, okay, let me format this. And we already have a service. Uh, Inside our service, we have delete by ID, uh, which we have developed in our last video, last section. So I'm passing the ID. Okay, if the employee is present, then it will, delete the ID. So if you see the implementation of this delete by ID method inside the service layer, you can see we first of all we are checking check if employee exists. If employee does not exist, then we will throw an exception. Employee not found 404. If the employee is available, then we will remove that employee from our dummy database. Okay. So let's move to the controller. Okay, we are back to the controller. Now, as you can see over here, we are returning response entity type of HTTP status. So we are returning the same from over here, response entity dot status, and inside the status I am returning HTTP status no content, because now the employees has been deleted. We don't have any content to return. So I am returning the no content status over here. Okay, if we go inside this, if we see this constant inside the HTTP status enum, you can see the status code is 204 and the response phrase is no content. So let's get back to the controller. So you can see now our delete by ID API is ready. It is quite similar to uh, find by ID method or the API, because in both case we need the employee ID. So this both has similar, but you can see the we are calling the different methods from our service layer. Over here we are calling find by ID, and here we are calling the delete by ID, and you can see the difference in the mapping as well. Over here we are using get mapping because we want to get an employee using the ID. Over here we are using delete mapping because we want to delete an employee using ID. So this API is ready. Now our last and final API we are going to implement over here, which is get all the employees. Okay. So let me implement this method, get all the employees. Okay. Response entity, and then over here iterable. I will return iterable employee. One second. Employee, and the method name should be find all. This is sufficient. Now over here we are returning all the available employees in our database. So for that have we already have developed one of the method in our service layer, which is employee service dot find all. Okay, and you can see I'm using response entity, that is our wrapper, and our actual return type is a list of employees. Okay, and iterable is basically uh, the interface. Is a basically parent interface which is implemented by our all the collection framework. So it is the parent, or what I can say, it is a uh, this is not a parent, but over here we are using abstraction, uh, and iterable is uh, being used by our most of the collection frameworks. Okay, so as you can see, we are sending the status OK 200, and over here we are calling the our service layer employee service find all. If you click on it, you can see we are inside our service layer service IMPL, and from here we are fetching all the employees from our database, domain database, and then we are returning that all the employees, available employees, back to the controller. You can see back to the controller and then to the user. So this is the APIs in the actual application. We never return all the employees. We use the pagination. but it is a bit advanced topic, so we will cover in some other videos. For now, this is sufficient. And one more thing I would like to address over here, similar to at path variable, we have at the request param uh, annotation, which will use if you are which is quite useful if you are passing query param inside your URL, within your URL, I would say, then the request param annotation is quite useful. But for our basic for our basic or fundamental learning, this annotation are sufficient. I will definitely cover the other request param and all the advanced topics such as pagination, GPS in our upcoming videos. So stay tuned for that. So yes, back to the our agenda. Now, as you know, we have implemented all the APIs. Let's start. Let's take a quick review of our APIs. You can see our API prefix is API V1 employees, and over here we are using dependency injection provided by Spring Boot. We are injecting employee service over here using the constructor, and then we have all the APIs. First API is save employee. If you want to create a new employee or save new employee, you can use this API. So, and then if you want to update the existing employee, you can use the this update employee API. And if you want to fetch an employee by ID, then you can use this find by ID API. And then we have a delete by ID. If you want to delete an employee by ID, you can use this API. And if you want to see all the employees available in our database, in that case, you can use find all. Okay, so our controller, you know, our controller layer is ready. Our APIs are ready to test. So why should we wait? Let's begin. So first of all, let me run this project. So if you don't know, we can run our Spring Boot project from here. So just click on it. You can also run it from over here if you have ran the project before. So you can see our project is starting up, and I'm using the JDK 21, and yes, so this project is required JDK 21. So if you are running in your local system, make sure you are using JDK 21. And you can see our Spring Boot project is up and running. It is running on port 8080. Okay, so now let's test all the APIs. So how you can test the APIs? So for you guys, I have prepared a GitHub repo. So you can, if you want to test the APIs, or you can, simply open the Postman. For example, let's say you just want to, you have followed me from the beginning. You have implemented, all these APIs. You have implemented the service layer. You have implemented what I can say, the controller layer. You have been with me since the beginning, and now you just want to, test the APIs. So simply run your project in your local system, as I did, um, and then go to your Postman, launch your Postman, and simply type HTTP colon two times forward slash, then local host, then colon, then our okay, our port which is 8080, Then our APIs. APIs meaning you need to go to the controller. If you don't know what is a APIs, then go to your controller, and this is these are your APIs prefix. So just you can copy paste or you can type it if you want. So I'm hitting see I'm getting response over here. So by default, in our project, as you know, we are having a default user in our database, which is John Doe. Okay, so uh, John Doe. So when I hit the send button, so it has fetched the default user from our domain database. And this, if you're wondering which API is this, then this is find all. How you can identify that? The first thing you can see our method is get. Okay, so we over here we have only two get methods, the find all and find by ID. So in case of find by ID, we need to pass ID over here, and we are not passing ID. Correct? So meaning we are not passing ID over. It means we are calling this API find all. If you are passing ID, meaning you are calling the find by ID. So you can see this is array JSON array, and inside array we have each and every uh, objects. For example, let's say if you want to call find by ID, so in that case you need to uh, pass the ID. So over here the ID is one. So I'm sending one. So now you can see this is not an array, just an JSON object which contains the employee information, ID, first name, last name, salary. Okay, so now let's start from the beginning. Let's start from the post method. So let's go to the post. You can simply copy paste if you want to, or if you want to type, you can. Okay, see this is uh, what I can say. Post method, our first API of our controller. This one, correct? Now, you can see this requires the request body, meaning you need to send the body from over here, and our APIs accept uh, only JSON, so you need to pass JSON over here. What you can do is you can copy this response from the our get response, the get APIs, and from here we don't need the ID. The our system will automatically generate the ID for us. So what should be the name of our user? Let's say, let me give my name, for example, Uday, and the last name is Patel. Let's say I have, 10,000. Yeah, I have 10,000. My salary is 10,000. Okay. Uh, so now our post API is ready. Let me hit the send button. Oh, now this is strange. Now it is saying that not found. Why it is saying not found? Maybe we have used extra forward slash over here. Let me remove this and hit the send button once again. That was the issue. Okay, so we need only this till employees. Please do not add the extra forward slash over here. So you can see we have received 201 created response, meaning our employees is successfully created. You can see a new resource was created successfully. How can you verify that? You can use our get all API. Okay, get all. Let me use the get all. Okay, same mistake. I'm repeating the same mistake. Let me remove the forward slash and hit the enter. Ah, see, now you can see we have multiple API, I mean employees, correct? The John Doy, Uday Patel, correct? And the ID is 2. The ID is generated automatically. Let me quickly generate new employee. For example, Harry Potter. Our new employee is Harry Potter. Harry Potter, and it has 30,000. I mean, Harry has 30,000 salary. Harry is rich, huh, richer than me. Anyway, let's create Harry Potter employee. You can see we have received the same response 201. New resource was created successfully. If you want to verify, use the find all API. You can see now we have a Harry Potter, correct? Now let's move to the next API. What you can do is instead of copy pasting, you can do the duplicate tab or something. And now our next API is put. Put meaning you want to update the existing employee. Okay, you want to update the details of your existing employee. Okay, so first of all, we need to change this to put. You can see because we are using put over here. Rest will remain the same because we aren't using any extra prefixes or extra contain for our URL. We are using prefixes only, API v1 employees, and the type should be put. Okay, so whenever you want to, update the existing employees, you need to, what I can say, you need to pass the JSON object. Okay, so now you want to, you want to update the existing employee. So, for example, you want to update the Harry Potter. For example, let's say update his salary. Now, Harry got a hike, and now its salary is let's say 45,000. Okay, and whenever you updating the existing employee, you need to send the ID as well. So now let's send 55. Now you can see we have received response 200, and now Harry's salary is 45,000. Earlier it was 30,000. You can see still in the get it is 30,000 because I haven't clicked on the send button yet. Now let me click on send button. This salary will be updated to the 45,000. Let me click. You can see 45,000. Now let's say I want to update his surname, for example XYZ. Now the surname will also get updated. You can see in the response the last name is updated, and if you go to the get method and hit the send button, you can see it is now XYZ. Let me quickly correct this one, Potter. Fine, it is again Potter, and if I click on send, it's Potter. Great. Now our put is we are done with put API. Great. Now let's move to the get mapping. Okay, this is find by ID. We have already seen it, but let's see one more time. Let's say I want to fetch only Uday. So in this case, I am fetching Uday. See, let's say I want to fetch Harry. So at least I should have the ID of that employee which I want to fetch. Okay, so If you are passing Harry's ID, then you will get the Harry. If you are passing Uday's ID, then you will get the uh, Uday. If you want John, then pass John's ID. Let's say if you are passing wrong ID, for example 10, you will get 404 not found. Okay, meaning we don't have any employee. Similarly for put, let's say if you are using 34 instead of 3, you have 30, you are using 34. You are getting 404 because we don't have any employee who have 34 ID. So if we aren't any employee with the 34 ID, then we can simply return 404 because we have nothing to update. Okay, so it is similar with the what I can say with the put as well and get with the get as well. So if I pass the correct ID, I will get that particular employee. Now let's move to the next API, which is delete by ID. Okay, so let's create a simply duplicate tab. Okay, now instead of now we need to change the type of our API as delete. You can see delete. What is delete? Yeah, over here. Delete. Now let's say I want to delete Uday. Okay, I don't like Uday, so I want to delete him. So now you can see if I getting the I'm inside now get API. If I'm getting the employee two, I'm passing the ID two over here, then I'm able to get the employee with the ID two. But let's say I have deleted that employee. I want to delete that employee. So you can see one thing over here. I have passed ID two, but only difference is the method API type. Oh, API type is delete over here. And we have received the successful response, meaning 204. 204 no content. We have successfully deleted the employee, but we don't have any content to return. So we are using this status code 204. Now, if you try to get this employee, you will get 404 because that particular employee has been deleted from our database. Now there is no employee with ID 2. Okay, so that is why we are getting 404. Now, for example, if you are again trying to delete an employee with ID 2, now over here you will get the 404. Reason, we don't have any employee with the ID 2 because it is already deleted. Okay, so we are done with the delete API as well. Now let's go to the last and final API, which is find all. Okay, this is find all. Okay, for find all, we just need to create a duplicate tab. Go to your drop down, select get. Now remove this uh, suffix, the forward slash and the ID. We don't need that. Just hit the enter button. You can see now we are getting two employees because Uday has been deleted from our database. So now we are getting only two employees, John Doe and Harry Potter. Okay. So that's how you can, test the APIs in your local system. For you guys, I have also uh, available. I have also made available this project on GitHub. So you can directly go to the GitHub and clone or download this project. So let me show you how you can do that quickly. For example, now simply go to the Google and type Patel Uday 07. Patel Uday 07. Okay, you will get the one or first or second result. You can see in this case I'm getting the first result. Okay, click on it. You can see GitHub Uday Kumar Patel Patel Uday 07. Click on it. Then go to the repository. Okay, now go to the repository and now you can simply you can see where is our project Spring Boot REST API development made simple. Go inside this project or repository. You can either clone if you already using the Git. If you aren't using Git, download the zip. Okay, the zip is being downloaded. Okay, now let me go to the my download folder. Okay, and let me create a new folder over here. Okay, just a temp. Let me give it a name temp. I already have a temp folder. Let's keep it new folder. We don't need, we don't any name. You can see I have downloaded this project from GitHub from here. Don't worry if you don't want to navigate. I'm going to, give this repo link, this link in our video description. So I would suggest you to please check out uh, the description. Okay. Now quickly let's quickly unzip. Unzip. Let's unzip this. Extract here. Okay, and let me stop this project. Our existing one. Okay, and what I can say just to make a difference, uh, just to make a difference, I'm changing a name so we don't get confused with our existing open project and this new one. Okay, so let's go to the IDE, click on open. Okay, navigate to the folder where you have extracted your project. Go to the taste, select POM. Whenever you are, opening the project, please use pom.xml. Then click on open, select open as project, select new window. Okay. Hmm. Okay. Fine. You can see this project is successfully downloaded and the IDE has already started downloading all the dependencies. You can, directly go to the this package, our resources. I will talk about the README, but let me first show you the project which we have made available for you guys. So you can see all the classes, interfaces, services. I mean the entity, the service layer, the control layer, everything is available over here. And if you want to run simply, then you can use the mvnw spring boot run command. It will start the project. We are getting an error over here. What is this? Is not a known life cycle. Why we are getting I'm making such mistakes over here. Silly mistake from my end. Yeah. So the command is dot forward slash, meaning in all the Spring Boot projects we are getting this wrapper MVN wrapper file. So we are pointing to the this wrapper file using this dot and forward slash, and then this is the command to run the Spring Boot project. Okay, so I am hitting Spring Boot run. Now it should start. You can see this is our new clone project or downloaded project from GitHub. Paste, and now it is being starting up. See, our project is getting started and it is up and running. You can see the status is started. Okay, and it is started on port 8080 by default. Our project has port 8080. We can change that, but we will see that in the upcoming videos. And you can, try the similar APIs over here as well. You can see now I'm getting only one employees because our DB, our dummy DB got changed, and by default we have only one user. Even if you restart your project, your stored data will be get deleted because we are storing all the data in memory because we are using over here dummy database, not the actual one, because just for the sake of simplicity. Okay, and yeah, that's how you can start the Spring Boot project. And one more thing, uh, you can please if you want to just take a high level overview of this project, uh, come come on this uh, GitHub repo. I will add this link in the video description. Go through this README file. Okay, you will get the high level overview uh, of our project. And in the end, I have added the Postman collection. So you can simply, open this link in a new tab. You will navigate to the Postman collection itself. Over here, you don't need to, write all the APIs which we did in our case. If you want to directly, test all the APIs, you can, do that from over here. In that case, if you first of all you need to sign in. They will ask you to sign in. Please sign in. Then once signing in is done, click on the send button. You should see the response. If you if you are already downloaded the Postman agent, then you will see the response. Otherwise, you will get a pop-up message or warning message or error message over here to download a Postman agent. Please download that Postman agent. I already did. So in my case, I'm I can paste the all the APIs from the browser itself. I don't need the Postman, and you don't need to type the APIs by yourself. Okay, I have already made available for you. So for example, let me create Uday over here. So you can see Uday is created. Now if I go to the get all, now I will get two employees, John Doy and Uday Patel. So even though this collection is open in the browser, still it is pointing to to the to the project or to the application which is running in your local machine. So make sure you first run your project in your local machine, and then you refer this README. Okay, go to the GitHub and refer this README. In the end, we have a Postman collection. Open this in the same tab or the new tab, and from here you can sign in, then download the Postman agent, and you are ready to use all these APIs. Okay, so yeah, that's how you can uh, use this API, all the APIs. For example, let's say just get by ID. Okay, I'm getting all the employees by ID. So this is similar to what we just did in the Postman. Okay, but the only difference is I have made this I have made this collection publicly open, so you guys can come to uh, come to this collection, and you can access all this collection and all these APIs from your browser itself. Okay. So yes, that's it for this video or for this part. Our Spring Boot REST API development made simple series is over here. Uh, Now we will move to the advanced topic. Till now we have implemented controller layer, then we have a service layer, then we have used our dummy database. Now it's time to, use the actual database such as MySQL, PostgreSQL. So in the next series, I'm um, coming with the what I can see the actual databases. We will use the same project so you guys can connect or relate. But one additional thing is instead of dummy database, now we are going to introduce a actual database. For example, MySQL, or we will also use the PostgreSQL. But first, I will start with the MySQL. Okay, we will use the same project. Okay, so you guys can connect the dots. You can, you can you can get the better understanding if I use the same project. So yeah, that's it. So see you in the next series where we will introduce DB. You will learn Spring Data JPA and many other things. One-to-one relationship, one-to-many relationship, many-to-many. Okay. Eager fetching, la- fetch type. I mean, there are two fetch types: eager, lazy, orphan removal, true, false, and many more. So uh, let's meet in the next series where we will introduce DB, and we will use the Spring Data GPA. So thanks for watching. If you like my videos, and if you find my videos useful, then please share, subscribe, like, comment. Okay, thanks for watching. See you in the next series. Bye.